No question, guys. All right. So we'll start. So yesterday we have covered. So yesterday we have covered what is EDI, why is EDI used. We saw some. We looked into history also, like what was the need for introducing these EDI files, right? What are the advantages, right? Now, now we'll see the different kinds of EDI file, though we have already seen. So we already yesterday we covered few files like the different types of EDI X12 files. Today we are going to see that in a bit detail. Right, so these things we have already covered. We are going to start with types of EDI in healthcare. Okay, so I think yesterday also I told, oh, did I cover this yesterday? Guys, do you remember, did I cover this yesterday? The NCX12, HL7. Can anyone please say? Hmm, no one? Don't remember? Okay, let's wrap this up very quickly. Uh, so in healthcare industry, several electronic EDI files are used. Several EDI standards are widely used to facilitate the electronic exchange of information among healthcare providers, payers, and other entities. But the most common files or the standards which are used are your X12 and HL7. So if you look out on these job posting website like LinkedIn, Indeed, so you'll see most of the requirement or recruitment is done for people knowing these two files or these two standards of EDI, which is ASCX12 and HL7, right? For healthcare. Again, there are various other standards as well for different other industries, but we will focus only on the healthcare related EDI files. So different types of X12 files are 837, 834, 835, 270, 271, 8 triple nine, right? 276, 277. So these are various types of EDI files, and we'll see them. We'll read about that in detail in the below uh, headers, below paragraphs. But for the time being, this is all about ASC X12. ANSI stands for American National Standard Institute. So they have devised, or they have uh, come up with this standard, that this is how an X12 834 file should, the structure should be. These should be the segment. These should be the loops, right? It defines a set of transaction. Okay, so this we have covered. HL7, again, HL7 is standard for exchanging healthcare information between different software application. While not strictly EDI in the traditional sense, HL7 is widely used in healthcare interoperability, right? So why this is, okay, this is we just saw a line that while not strictly EDI in traditional sense. So this could be a question they can ask, that why HL7 is not considered as a, traditional EDI file, because any EDI will have structure, like they will have loops, they will have segments, they will have header segments. But but if you look into HL7 file, right? So they use XML standard, XML structure to create these files, right? So has anyone here have seen any XML file?
I have seen Subhash. I-
Right. Okay. So yeah, Shruti, you said also that you were doing some kind of work where a lot of
Yes.
data handling and file handling was there. So yeah. So XML is a type of, in simple word, if you have seen uh, HTML page, right? A website, any website, if you open, suppose this website. Suppose this is a simple website. Now, if you look into the code of it, view page source, you will see the code. This is written in HTML. Okay. So XML is also something like that. They have this tag, and under tag you will have information or data, right? So I can show you a simple XML file example. So the version 3 of HL7 uses this XML file. So see, this is the type of XML file. So basically it will have tag, and under tag it will have data. So see, employee, if you can see this image. So see, this is the tag called employee data. Under employee data we have uh, so this is a tag called employee data. Under employee data we have sub tag, which is so this is called parent, this is called child. So child tag we have under employee we will have employee ID, first name, last name, this, that, right? And all the tag will have some kind of data. So this is how a XML file is stored. uh, Opposite of this there is something called JSON file, right? So if I show you example of JSON, so there data is stored in key value pair, right? JSON file example. So there you will see that it will have a key and there will be a value of it. So you guys should know about XML and JSON file, because not only you will have to work with these kind of files when you work as BA, but also during your L1s and sometimes L2, they ask you questions that, have you worked ever with an XML file? Have you worked with a JSON file? So at that time, you should say yes. So see, the difference between XML and JSON, see, in XML we had tags, right? See, these are tags. So every tag will have a opening set and a closing set. See, first name, and we have a slash first name. So under the opening and closing will have the data. Last name, again, it is the opening set. This is the ending set. So under that we have data. So by seeing this kind of file, you can say this is a XML file, and at the top it is also written. So very obvious, it's a XML file. Uh, in JSON file, we won't have tags. We have key and value. So track ID is the key. The value is AA1234. Longitude is the key. The value is a longitude value, right? So this is how the data is stored in a JSON file, and that is how data is stored in XML file. Now, why it is important to know this? Because whenever we are trying to upload data to any software, right, it is done in either XML format or in JSON format, either of this. So basically, uh, okay, a lot of you are there from the day one. So we have seen claim management system or claim processing system, right? For example, Javelina. So if you want to upload the members data into Javelina, you have to, doesn't matter if you got the data in an Excel file, right? Or a simple notepad or a text file, right? Doesn't matter how you got the data, or you have got the data which is there in a database, and you have to pull data from there. So you can get data, could be in any form, but ultimately when you are uploading that data to your software, to your claim processing system, it has to be done in JSON format if you are using Javelina, right? So you have to convert an Excel file into a JSON format file and then upload it. So that is what our data interchange platform was doing. So okay, I think I have gone a bit in deeper into this JSON and XML file, but hope you guys understand two different files, right? XML is XML and JSON, and why it is used in the IT projects. Any doubts, guys? Any question?
Clear.
Great. Others?
It's clear.
Thank you, Shruti. Okay. I hope it's clear. Moving forward. Okay. So, mm, all right. So these are the two standards which we use a lot, or I mean in healthcare, these are the very common standards that are used. Apart from that, there are other standards as well, like you see NCPDP. Now it's a standard specifically designed for pharmacy industry, facilitating the electronic exchange of pharmacy related information. Relevant transaction sets are NCPDP script. Now, I have never worked on NCPDP, but again, this is just for your information because a lot of time they ask you question in the interview for your specifically for your L1s that, hey, have you any experience with NCPDP? Do you have any experience with CDA, which is clinical document architecture? So again, it depends. In L1 round, mostly they are just checking whether you have these things or not. So it's not necessary that you have to say yes to every answer, right? Because not everyone can know not everyone can know all the things about healthcare or health insurance. So if you see something which is not very common and they are asking you, so you can skip that, say no, that doesn't ring a bell, I have never worked on it, no. You can simply say that, right? But again, if you have Chat GPT open in front of you, because L1s are mostly on uh, telephone, right? It's a telephonic round. So if you have Chat GPT in front of you, and if she has asked this question, you can simply type it quickly and see what is it, and you can simply say yes. And if her next question would be, can you tell me something about it, how you have worked? So you can simply put it on Chat GPT and get some information and just say something, right? Okay, now let's come straight to the point, the main objective behind these training, which is the EDI X12 files. In United States healthcare industry, the ANSI ASC X12 EDI standards are widely used for various electronic transactions. These standards define specific transaction sets that enable the exchange of information between healthcare provider, payer, and other entities. Right? First and foremost, very common file 837. Right? So normal question that comes in interview is, have you worked with EDI file? Which files have you worked with? So you can say 837, 834, 835. Second type of question they can say, so you said you have worked with 837 file. So what is it used for, right? So you can simply say it is used for the claim files, the claim that a provider will send to payer, that if they are using EDI, they will be sending it in 837 standard or format. Okay. Another question they can ask you is, what are the different loops and segments in an 837 file, right? So this is a tricky question because sometimes they just want to see that have you just the theoretical knowledge about EDI, or you have actually worked with the EDI files. So you have to tell about few segments. So I'll show you a EDI file. Okay, any question guys so far, by the time I'm searching for that EDI file? See, this is also a JSON file. You see, the name of this file is canonical. I'm slightly deviating from the topic, but this is also a JSON file. The only difference is this only has key. It doesn't have value. All the value are empty because this is just to showcase how a claim file will be stored in Javelina. So basically, this kind of file is used to upload claim data in Javelina, which is the claim processing system. And for those of you who don't understand what I'm talking about, Javelina claim processing system, so please go through the previous session recording. So then you will understand like uh, what I'm talking about. Okay, let's see a 837 EDI file. So this is a 837 EDI file. This is I, 837I. That means, can anyone say what does I stand for? Yesterday I told it. Yeah,
In
Suti?
institutional,
Right. So what do you mean by institutional?
other than institutional means like, what do you say? So if a claim goes for the CT scan or
Yeah,
I'm
basically any hospital or
yeah,
anywhere which is not a single practitioner, right? If it is a single
yeah,
doctor, I mean, if it is a he's not under any organization, right? Like hospital or big lab. He's a single practitioner, then it is professional claim,
professional.
right?
Yeah.
That is P, 837P, right? See,
Mm-hmm.
Noble Anesthesia Partners. So, they are simple, I mean, professionals. And see, I is for institutional. So, GTES Corporation. This is must be some kind of hospital. See, or Adena Regional Medical. So, okay. Now, one other common question is, what are the different segments present in an 837 EDI file? So you can, NM1 is the very, very common one. NM1 stands for name, right? NM1 is name, but it depends, like it falls under which loop, right? So we have many loops in the EDI files, 2000, 2010, 2300, right? So it depends on under which loop uh, does that segment fall. So NM1 can be for hospital name, it could be for the provider name, it could be for the member name. NM1 is for name, right? There are other segment as well. PAT is for like patient. You have uh, DTP is again for date. Wherever you will see DTP, you will see a date associated with it, right? CLM again, if you see somewhere CLM, that means it's
Claim?
the claim ID. Yes. REF is always some kind of reference number, right? So you can talk about these segments: NM1, CLM, DTP, PER, REF, right? I know what you guys might be thinking, that how will someone, how is it possible to read this kind of file, right? How can we read a EDI file? So we will come to that in coming days. But for the time being,
So
this
these
is
NM1, REF, so these are the segments of the EDI files, right?
right.
Okay. So these are not the elements. There are like elements and sub-elements, I guess.
No, so here uh, we, I mean, it depends like how people call it. So
Mhm.
here we call, uh, I mean, in EDI we call the file. Okay, just give me 1 second. If I
Mhm.
show you this, it will make more sense. Okay, so you see this structure. Uh, okay, this is a structure of a EDI file. So so here the top three segment, we call it as header segment, right? So
Mhm.
ISA, GS, ST, they will fall under the header segment. Then we have loops, and then we have elements, right? So
Okay.
these, so so the one that you see here, NM1, N3, N4, ref, these are all, they call it as elements, right?
Okay.
So normally they will ask you that what are the different segments or different elements or different loops that you have worked with. So at that time you can say I worked on the header segment, ISA, GS, ST. Different element that I have worked with is NM1, REF, CLM, DTP, right?
Okay.
But again, this is very rare chance. Mostly I have seen, I've given so many interviews. Mostly they ask only these things, that which file is used for what. Sometimes they will ask you that what if in a claim, in a claim life cycle, file should be uh, what file should be used in the whole claim life cycle. So like it will start with a 270, 271, where the eligibility check is done by the provider, right? Then he will send out a 837 claim file to provider. There will be a acknowledgement of that file will be sent to the provider, which is
Is
triple
it
nine.
999? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Then 835 file would be sent to the payer again if it is claim is approved and the claim remittance is given. And there is one more file, I think I'm missing it, something of 9 or 1000 something, which is again for some kind of acknowledgement. But mostly these three files are used, right? So these kind of questions are asked, and mostly scenario based question will be asked. That if you, I'll cover those. I'm not trying to cover it now because it will create more confusion. Mostly scenario based question would be asked, that if you are getting a EDI file from a provider and it got rejected, how will you make sure that, or how will you do the analysis that why it got rejected? What are the steps? Which tool will you use? Right? How have you used the Sterling integrator or Edifact tool for mapping or for EDI validation? So we will cover those questions as well, not now, but later. First, let's understand the basics. Okay. Any questions so far, guys?
Sir, I have one. So all those questions will be in L1 round or for L2
No,
round?
no, no. Those EDI based scenario question, mostly all the scenario based question will be in L2 rounds. In
Okay.
L1 round, they will simply ask you which tool have you used. So if you see a normal resume, they give around 3, 4 tools name. If I have any, let me see if I have any open. Mm, Okay, I don't have any recent one. But if you see any resume, I know all many of you would have got resume so far. If you see there, they would have mentioned at least 3, 4 EDI mapping tool name like B2B integrator, Edifax, something called map something, uh,
Health Edge.
Mipasu.
What? Okay. Health Edge and Claimed X10. What those tools are used for?
No, I really don't know. Health Edge and Claim Extend.
Mm-hmm.
No, I need to look into Google for that.
Okay.
See, there are so many tools, and see, practically it is not possible to work on all the tools, right? So I have you worked on the major ones. I mean, some tools that are mostly used by most of the companies. So those common tools I have worked, but again, a lot of tools I also don't know. So it's better if it is there in your resume. Please chat GPT it. What does this tool do? If possible, look for a screenshot of that tool in on Google Images so that you'll get some idea.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Mm, all right. So 837 we have seen. This file is sent by providers to payers. 835 is a payment remittance file, and this includes details on adjustment and reason for payment, explanation of benefits, EOB, explanation of benefits would be there, right? So that is it. 270, 271 is used for eligibility or benefit inquiry. So basically, when a member has gone to a provider, he will open up his provider portal, right? And he will put the member ID. So in the back end, actually a 270 request is sent and 271 response is received, right? So that is where 270, 271 file comes into picture. Any question with this one, 270, 271? No question. Okay.
No, I'm good.
Similarly, 276, 277 file also works in request and response format. Uh, it is used to check the status of the claim, right? So a lot of time, the provider has already sent out the claim to the insurance company, but they have not received the payment. So what they will do, they will send out a 276 file to get the status of the claim, that what happened to that claim. Is it approved? Is it rejected? What is it? So they will use this one for getting the status of a claim. 276, 277. See, all the files that are mentioned here are pretty important, and they have been asked a lot of time during the interview. So at least these files, whichever is mentioned here, you should remember. What does that they do? 278 is a pre-authorization file basically. Uh, So yesterday I explained something about pre-authorization. If someone wants get a big surgery done, so the doctor cannot give the service to him until unless they have an authorization. So if they don't have authorization, they will send out the request or of authorization request to uh, to the insurance company, and they might approve or reject that request. So that file is called 278 file, and in simple term this is called pre-authorization. Pre-authorization. And this comes under the category of UMCM, utilization management and care management. Contains information about the requested healthcare services, including patient details and the need for authorization. Okay, 820 is for payroll deducted, I mean basically for that premium payment. So including also for employer to insurance career, contains information about premium payments, employer details on policy information. I've never worked on 820 files, but it's good to know that this file is used for uh, I mean premium payment information. 999 is an implementation acknowledgement used to acknowledge the receipt of other EDI transactions. So whenever you are getting a file, EDI file, ideally a 999 file should be sent in response that will say that yes, we have received this file correctly. So at the top we saw something called 278, and this is 278N. So this is basically used for notifying providers about the result of a healthcare service review. So basically, if suppose someone has sent a 278 file, they will receive the information of whether it got approved or rejected through a 278N file. So N is for notification. Basically, it will say whether the authorization request is approved or denied. Okay. 834 is again one very important file and used uh, comes into picture at the very initial stages of the claim life cycle. So basically it is for eligibility enrollment. So ideally you will get members information in an Excel file from the group, and you have to send that file to the claim processing system, and there they will convert that data into a eligibility data. So how is the member data converted to eligibility data? Can anyone tell me? I've explained this couple of times. How a simple member information is converted into uh, uh, eligibility data. Just give it a try. Jaswati, you're saying something?
Yeah, so we get the 834 file, and then we process it, and then uh, I do have in mind. I do not remember exactly.
No,
Even
I'm
you
not
were
asking about
okay.
834 file, but I'm asking that how
Uh-huh.
a member file is converted
Uh-huh.
into a eligibility file. Member data to eligibility
Remember.
data. So whenever we add, see, member data is simple. Information about the employees, and sometimes they're dependent, their demographic, sometimes they're some bit of health information, not always. Uh, so once we add plan information and eligibility date, I mean start date and end date, to that data, that member data is converted to eligibility data. Okay. So this eligibility enrollment happens using 834 file, 834 EDI file. Okay. Any question, guys?
It means like when members enrollment start date and end date comes, it converts to the eligibility data, right?
Right. So
Okay.
you try to understand it in this way. You are working for an insurance company called Cigna. Some some company which in health insurance term we called as group. So one group called Netflix, they have approached Cigna that hey, we want insurance for our employees. So a business analyst from Cigna will say, sure, we'll be happy to do that. Can you provide us information about your employees, right? Who wants this insurance for you, for them? So what they will do, they will obviously they would have been using some kind of software, Workday or HR management software, where all the employee information is there. They will simply download that data. So that is just employees data, right? And they might have or might not have dependent data there, but it's just employee data. Simple. They will send that Excel file to this company. Now, this is still a member's data or a member's file, right? Now, this data needs to be first and foremost step when a group comes to you is setting up plan, setting up actually group, then plan. Now, enrollment, that is eligibility enrollment. So how will this eligibility enrollment be done? They will take this member file, upload it in system, and the system, basically the claim engine or the claim processing system, will assign plan, detail, and start date and end date to each and every employee. Now this one other file would be generated, which is 834 file. Now this file is called eligibility enrollment file. This is enrollment data now or eligibility data. Do you understand the flow now?
Yeah, now it's very clear.
Great. Now this file might be used for various purposes. So this file might be sent to a lot of providers so that tomorrow when anyone from Netflix will go to a particular provider which falls under the network of Cigna, so they should know that this is yeah, they are a valid insurance holder and we should serve them. So how will they know that? So for that, sometimes they have to send this file to those providers. A lot of time they don't need to send any file to provider will log into our website called Availity. There they will get the member ID and there they can check that whether this person
So I'm
has.
so sorry. I had to drop off for five minutes actually. I came to a temple. So I'll
Oh,
rejoin.
okay,
Yeah, just
sure,
for
sure,
five
no
minutes.
problem,
Thank you.
no problem. Okay, yeah, so I was saying that what was I saying? Let me think. Yeah, I was saying that uh sorry, can someone remind me like where did I stop? It was about
It was about
uh,
834 file, how we created the 834 file.
oh, right. So how why this 834 file sometimes we have to send to providers, right? So that they will know that okay, this person has insurance for this company. Most of the time we don't have to send. There is a website called Availity, right? So Availity is used by so many companies. They will simply upload their data to Availity portal and providers will actually log into Availity. They will simply give the member ID and they can check whether the member is saying truth or not, whether he has a valid insurance, whether his insurance is actually active or not, or it got expired. So he can check everything here, right? So that was about 834 file. And yeah, okay. Should I continue and cover this structure of the file as well, or should I start this tomorrow? Because anyway, if I start, I won't be able to cover it in 9 minutes. Let's keep it for another day, and I think it would be like too much for one
Akash.
single day.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, Raj, you are saying something? Oh, okay. Fine. So guys, I'll stop here. We'll start from the EDI file. We'll dig deeper into the different types of EDI file, the structure of it, look into actual files, right? How to read a file. We'll do this tomorrow, but for today, any of you have any question, query, feel free to ask.
Yes, sir. I have one question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Does the company use 2 to 3 tools for claim submission and EDI processing, or they just use one single software for this?
It depends. I mean, it depends on the scale of the organization. If it is a very big organization, they will have ideally one tool that can do most of the things for them. But again, the type of work that you have told, so ideally they cannot be done by one single tool. So if it is a claim processing system, so ideally the EDI conversion, EDI mapping, uh, that most of these big tools like Javelina, Facets, QNX, they don't have that facility. So for that, you have to use some kind of EDI mapping tool like this integrator or Edifact or maybe a HIPAA suite, right?
Okay.
So though they have one single big software, the claim engine, but apart from that also they have a lot of softwares which they use for various activities.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
And the thing is, we cannot generalize it. I mean, we cannot apply the same logic or same idea to all the companies. All the company have customized it according to their flexibility, their need, their clients. So it's difficult to say that how do these companies work.
Okay, so does this work like for few providers they use this software, for few providers who are integrated with the other system, so we use that software.
No, no, no,
Does it
no.
work like that?
So no, no, no. So if it is an insurance company, it it won't have. Ideally, it should not have. I mean, I have not seen it that if they have like 400, if they are dealing with 400 providers and 400 providers are within their network who are uh, sending out claims them day in day out. So ideally, they don't have different set of tools or portals or application for different providers or different kind of providers. They will have same similar service for all of them. I'm talking it. I was saying that this varies from company to company. I mean, Cigna can do it in some different way. Aetna can do it in some different way. Blue Cross Blue Shield might have their own way of working, their own set of softwares working together to make everything possible. I was talking about that.
Okay, got it.
All right. Any other question, guys? Okay. If no, then I wish you all happy Shivratri. You all have a great day. Uh, Thank you, and we'll talk again tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Happy Shivratri, you too. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.